you know, this new kind of approach of adding technology into our own bodies to allow us to expand our consciousness out into literal machines, and then enhancing that human capability into that machine substrate and having it permeate all kinds of substrates, from robots to nanotechnology robots and that can shape material, and then also being able to grow replacement bodies or inject new fetal brain cell treatments, or basically adding to the biological neural net within our own brains with new material as we age, and allowing us to interface that material directly with machines so that we can transfer what is grown there into stored permanent records that can be reinstantiated within a simulation for an individual, like a virtual reality in which one's perception of reality is so accurate and precise and high res that it's difficult for you to determine whether or not you're in reality or just another level of simulation. That sort of matrix idea that Hollywood recently promoted so well in the Matrix series of movies. But you know, it's not that that idea is overdone in our society. It's more that that idea needs to be expressed in many different kinds of ways, so that we can all understand that we're possibly living in a multiverse, which is a simulation of a multiverse, which is a simulation of, you know, somebody's computer system running a AI life program or something. You know, I mean, I don't know. No one seems to know. We can only imagine the levels of abstraction we would have to go through to simulate a simulant kind of situation. And it might be that we're all living in some sort of God mind, which is really a simulation machine or something. You know, you can go off on those kinds of things. So when you try to pull all these ideas together after a year and a half of writing and researching, you know, it's a little difficult. And as a new author, I found myself writing, you know, I'm going to admit, you know, I found myself writing myself into a bit of a corner. And so what I did, let me show you this, I hope it's focusing here, is I started compounding different storylines. You know, this sort of extinction of humanity came later on, and then the simulation and these zookeeper nano machines go from star system to star system, collecting these dead extinct races, which it comes out of one of the possible expressions of the Fermi paradox, which I try to allude to in the story. And then the singularity signal, well, that's a combination of initially of a lot of different ideas into a cohesive story. And at first, at the end of this, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with the story. And you know, as a budding writer, one doesn't always have the best plot skills. Maybe some people do, but I didn't originally. I just had a lot of good ideas that I were trying to sew into a tapestry of the storyline. And it's later that I realized that I needed to have a more coherent closure on the storyline as a plot, and the different elements along the way to keep people's interest, the action, the struggle, the overcoming, the hero succeeding above all challenges, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to take a break now, and I'll come back in more videos to express the ideas further around these technologies.